Congratulations on being appointed to the Real Estate Commission. And a question comes to mind. Was this the direction you saw yourself going when you began your real estate career?
Oh, absolutely not. When I started my real estate career, my sole focus was trying to be the best realtor I could possibly be. And the further I went along, thanks to the broker I trained under, Bob Barbuti, who convinced me that, okay, you're doing really well, you have been focused on the business, now it's time for you to start to give back to the business, because that's kind of the trade-off that you make. When you get so much from something, you have to give back. So my direction at that time was being involved first at my local board of realtors, then my state board of realtors, then my National Association of Realtors, which I have been incredibly involved with for a lot of years. I've now pulled back a bit from that, and a couple people knew that there was a vacancy coming up on the Real Estate Commission and called me up and said, you're not doing all your traveling with the National Association of Realtors. I still travel quite a bit because of my involvement in education, but you should put your name in as a person who might be interested in serving on the Real Estate Commission. I thought about it, and I'd been asked in previous years and thought, I've only got so many hours in the day. I'm not going to do it, but this time I thought, it's time. I've done a lot of work for my National Association, a state association, and local boards, and now it's time to give back in a little bit different way. I as you know, teach education at all different levels throughout the state and the lower 48, and I thought this is the perfect time for me to be able to, if the state, if the governor, if the Real Estate Commission Board is willing to take me on, it's my time to volunteer my services on the Real Estate Commission, and I feel very proud and very lucky to have been selected to that position.
How has living in an isolated community like Juneau affected your real estate career?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question because I don't necessarily consider living in Juneau being isolated. No, I can't get on a road and drive out, but I can get on a plane, I can get on the ferry, and I can get in and out. More importantly, thanks to technology we employ not only in our businesses but in all businesses throughout the state and throughout the nation, frankly throughout the world, I connect with everybody. For example, today's Saturday, and it's at 6:30 this morning, I was talking to a client in the east central part of the United States. You do what you have to do dealing with time zone changes or day changes, and it's great. On the other hand, I love the fact that I'm in a smaller community. I like the fact that the town of Juneau has about 30,000, and it doesn't matter where I go. I see people that I know, see people that I've either helped buy, sell, rent, or lease property. I think having that closeness to the community keeps you incredibly on top of your game. You've got to be honest. You've got to do what you say you're going to do. You've got to follow through. You've got to follow up on all those questions. And I like that responsibility it gives me. It also, on the other hand, means that because you're in the business of real estate, because you know about your communities, you also develop these incredible friendships with the clients that you have over the years and helping people move in and out. But on the other hand, I've got clients who are doing things within my area that live all over the United States. So on the one hand, yeah, I live in a small community. On the other hand, I'm just one little cog in the big wheel of the United States, and I love it.
If you were not in the real estate industry, what path would you follow?
That's hard to say because I've been in the industry since 1982. I mean, I'm kind of a funny duck because I was a History and American Studies major in college, more from the standpoint I loved American history, and so that's where my interests at my liberal arts college took me. When I got out, I had done internships in public relations, so I got into public relations and advertising when I first got out of college, and I loved that. But that's something I incorporated in my world of real estate. I love what I do, and I can't see myself, frankly, doing anything else. It's so much a part of who I am and how I operate both inside and outside business. It's something that I just always see myself doing.
What are you reading right now?
Oh, good question. If you look at my bedside or you look at my briefcase, I usually have two things. One, that is serious stuff. I am a fanatic for the Wall Street Journal, so no matter what I do, I'm always reading the Wall Street Journal every day. from the serious side, I am addicted to a couple guys by the name of Heath, Dan Heath and Chip Heath, who are brothers who write together incredible books. They cover everything from advertising to the way people think to trying to discover how to make your business better in placing yourself within situations depending upon what book it is. So I love them. On the other hand, I am addicted to Vince Flynn and his character Mitch Rapp. So I read everything that Vince Flynn puts out, as well as Dean Koontz. So I have varied tastes, crazy connections to different things, and I go back and forth. One keeps me grounded, one keeps me my head on straight and focused not only on today but also the future. The other one just gets me onto a different world altogether, and I love that.
Well, what about for motivation or inspiration? Do you have a favorite go-to speaker in that realm?
I do, and it's either my husband or my dad. I have for years called my dad up or called John up when I've got a question, I don't know which way to go. I need a little bit of a kick in the butt to keep me going where I think I need to go or where I should be going. It's kind of nice to be able to have somebody as wonderful as my husband or as wonderful as my dad to just call up and say, hey, I need some direction, or I need some ground truthing. Tell me what's going right or wrong. Here's a situation. Help me make sure that I'm making the right decision. And having two incredible people right there is, and I'm very, very lucky, very blessed.
From the time you entered the real estate industry to now, to today, what do you see as the most significant changes to our business?
I like to say that everything that's old is frankly new again. When I first started out in the real estate industry, it was all about the personal connection you make with your clients, the face-to-face communication, and maintaining that communication. As we started going through time, people getting into the industry thought that was less important. It was more important to have a computer, software. It was more important to have a website. It was more important to have email. It was more important to be on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And then all of a sudden people are starting to rediscover that it is actually important to have personal connection with your clients. So I tend to say that things, what's old is new, because the people who've been in the industry the last 5 years who maybe didn't need to learn the skills that I had to learn back when I first got in the business are now getting in and saying, okay, I'm great at contact management, I'm great at emails, I'm great at putting everything I need within my various software programs. But darn it anyway, I've got to get in front of people. I've got to go to where my clients are, look them in the eye, shake their hand, and say, I'm going to be there for you. And so that's what I see is happening now, is people are having to learn what many of us learned many, many years ago, and that it's valid as ever, and it's something that they have to relearn. I teach all throughout the United States as well, and the most popular program I have is something called Client Care and Bear Feeding, because it gets people back to the concept of it's absolutely vital that you have face-to-face time, that people see you are a real person, and that you as a real person care about what they want and that they need, and you care about fulfilling those wants and needs. But that's something you don't necessarily get with an email or a letter or a fax. It's something that you're able to convey in person, and that's what people are having to relearn, is those skills of interpersonal relationships, because it's not about popping in a car and driving somebody out to see a property. It's about the relationships you build up with the people that you're dealing with, whether it's sellers or buyers, whether it's people in property management who are owners who have their investment that they're trusting you to protect, or tenants who are frankly looking for someplace to put, a roof over their heads and take care of them. That's the personal nature that we're all having to get back to in real estate if we're going to stay in real estate any longer. So that's kind of what I see has happened in the real estate industry, and it's been frankly fascinating to see the change come back around. They tend to say that what old becomes new and new becomes old, and guess what? That's what's happening.
You started touching on my final question for you, which speaks to the core ingredients to be a successful realtor today. And I'm presuming that you're going to agree or state that they're probably the same today as they were 20, 30 years ago. And if that's the case, what do you see as the top 3 or 4 of those key ingredients?
I've got 3, which I had the first month that I got into business. My broker sat down with me when we were going through training and said, these are the most important things you can do for the rest of your real estate professional career. Number 1 is be competent in what you do. Know what you do inside and out. The second thing, you have to have compassion. You have to learn to listen very carefully to your clients and be compassionate towards their needs. And the third one is committed. You have to be committed to get it done. Those are the 3 things that I committed to doing when I became a real estate professional back in 1982, and those are the 3 things I have committed to today, and I have seen no need to change it.